Welcome to another episode of Untold. I'm Nujain Al-Athari, and I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Abdullah Al-Hindiani, and for the Untold, we always have special guests, right? So many talented individuals. And for today's episode, we have Husain Jawahri, who has a profession that I believe for myself is it's the first time I know such a thing exists in Kuwait. Like I know outside it has, but here it's such an amazing thing to know, and it is talent manager.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that we had talent agencies in Kuwait as well. I think that's fascinating, and I think it's a wonderful way for people to bring talents, not just local talents, but outside international talent to the country, so that the Kuwaiti people can enjoy multiple aspects of media and entertainment.
Yeah, and there's another facet about Hussein is that he was actually a host on KTV.
Oh,
So
really? He
yeah, he
was?
was in our jobs before. So it's gonna be a really fun little interaction for him being at the guest seat instead of the host seat.
I think that's amazing, and I think we'll learn a lot from him, from how his life has progressed from being a presenter like us and to how it carried on into other fields, and if they're similar to the fields that we're in right now.
Right, right. And to get all of that, we are gonna take a very quick break and we'll come right back with him. And we're back, dear viewers. We are joined by Hussein Jawahri. Our own first, thank you for being with us on The Untold. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I want to ask you, let's dive right into it, right? You've started your own talent recruitment agency. So, I want to ask you, how did that process come along, right? What inspired you to make it?
It was a long time coming. I was doing it without actually realizing that I was doing talent management. I was helping a lot of people and giving them ideas and direction of what should they do in social media or in the career that they're in. And one of my best friends is the one who came to me and he was like, I want you to manage me. And he was actually a guest on your show
Oh, no way.
recently. Yeah, he was from Al who does improv.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So he's one of my closest friends, and he was like, I really need you to manage me. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. And he mentioned about the idea of him not being able to negotiate contracts and deal with companies and doesn't know what direction to take. Especially he's in a field that's very limited with opportunities, like acting and wanting to be in ads
And he's
and
such a unique
commercials.
talent as well.
He is, and he's such a recognized, unforgettable face. Like
Right.
once you see him, once you see his energy, he's hard to forget. But he asked me to start with him, and it started with him, and it wasn't something that I considered to launch as like an agency or like a management. But once he started talking to other other people that he know in the industry and the scene, a lot of people started reaching out to me and be like, okay, I want you to manage me. How about, they started coming to me. I was like, okay, so apparently there's a gap where
It's
a
like
lot
a
of,
dominoes effect.
yes, a lot of people who are unaware or unsure which direction to take. They need advice, they need ideas, they need guidance into what content and what things they need to do on social media in their career, and there hasn't been a proper person to tell them or guide them. So I became that guy. I became the guy who just offers help, but now in more of a professional environment rather than just being just friendly with it and be like, okay, you should do this, do that. I just made it more professional, more contract based.
That's really cool, especially since it's something that seemed to happen quite naturally for you. Um, since many people just seem to come to you, did you have to scout for talent?
At some point, yes, I felt like now I have to be selective because at first I started accepting anybody that comes my way and thought I could work and make them better in terms of the goals that they want to achieve or what talent that they have. But I then started seeing I should look for commitment first. I should look for people who want to commit, who want to work, who know exactly what they want. To work with someone that doesn't really understand what they want to do and what they want to reach or what goals that they want to reach, it's going to be very difficult to kind of guide them. They're going to get lost eventually because they don't see things the way that you see them. They don't see the path or the vision that you have for them. So it's going to be very difficult to kind of convince them and push them in that direction. So I had to start being selective and choose the ones where I see pure talent, where I see that these are people that I can definitely push forward in what they do.
Actually, I think that makes a lot of sense because I feel a lot of people think that they want to be famous or they want to do something in that field, but they're not aware of the amount of work that goes into it. So looking for people who are committed and know what they want, I feel like that must make a big difference in how you approach the work as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people, they say consistency is key. It is, but you need to know what you're doing. It's not just about posting content out there. It's not just about posting anything out there. You need to understand who you are, because when you show your true personality out there on social media and you're honest with your audience, that's the best thing you can do. And then the flow is very natural in terms of how you want to present yourself out there, rather than to have a character that's not who you really are, just to gain those followers or to get the likes or the shares. That's not how it works. It has to be something that you're really good at as a talent, or your natural personality becomes the brand. That's how I look at it.
Authenticity.
Yes.
I think it's very key, especially in this day and age when there's so much curated content. So being yourself is probably the best way for people to actually like you. I think people crave authenticity these days.
Exactly. And especially with a lot of influencers, the way they promote for things, it became very repetitive. Uh, it was kind of, I wouldn't say not honest, it's just they exaggerate with it to the point that it becomes false advertising at some point. It's just then with that, like with time, people started realizing that it's just, a bunch of words that they're saying. This is not actually true. This is, they're just trying to promote. That's why even nowadays you see a lot of companies steering away from influencers who promote the traditional way and try to navigate more towards doing a proper ad or proper commercial for their brand.
Yeah, and speaking about the process of it, I want to ask you something, especially for someone like me, and I think a lot of our viewers are in the same position. We don't really know a lot about talent agencies. So what is the process like? How are they benefiting from you? Where's your position, all of this?
Okay, so when trying to sign a new talent, of course, like I mentioned, I look for the talent that they have or their personality, and then I'll see what direction they want to take in social media first, because this is the first thing that you would look at. This is your page. This is your place to advertise for yourself, for what you're doing in content creation. So we try to find the best content plan for that creator to push themselves out there. And then when they do that, they started to get those deals from the businesses. So you attract businesses who wants to do ads with you. You attract, if you're into acting, you will attract companies or production companies who want to take you into like TV shows or movies. So it all depends on the direction that they want to take. And of course, with the deal that I would make for them, because I negotiate on their behalf. This is something that a lot of the talent that come to me, it's what they lack in. Because I've worked in conventions before, I negotiated a lot of deals, a lot of contracts. I've learned the hard way through.
So you got enough experience from it.
Yes, with that. So I learned the art of negotiation through experience.
Right.
It wasn't always great. I messed up a lot of times, which made me experienced in it. And I've dealt with really big companies from outside of Kuwait to bring international talent to those conventions. So the negotiations are very difficult and they're very long. So I've learned from that. So a lot of talents, when they come to me, they be like, they give us the opportunity, but we don't know how to negotiate. We don't know if this is a good deal or not. We don't know if this would benefit us or not. So this is where I come in. This is where I try to get them the best deal possible.
Right.
When it comes to negotiating. When I see, oh, maybe what they're offering is not enough. Maybe the workload is not suitable for my client. Maybe this is something that my client cannot deliver. Because a lot of the talent, once they see that amount or that some amount that they're going to get paid on paper, they were like, oh, great, I'm going to get paid that much. Okay, but no, wait, let's look at who's offering this and what they require you to do. Are you able to do it? Are you able to deliver it on time? Do we have the proper idea to present to them for you to promote for that or what they're asking? So a lot of things that they don't see during these negotiations. And of course, I always try to kind of push to get them more, to get them the best opportunity possible. And with that, of course, there's a commission that comes with the deal that I make
Right.
with those companies.
So, would you see yourself more as a business manager or a mentor?
Both, actually.
Yeah?
Actually, yeah, I do. And I'm more of a mentor than the whole business side. Yes, it's great to kind of get that extra income from my talent, but I always tell them, don't focus on that. That will come with the amount of work that you would put out there. And they always sometimes want me to reach out to businesses like, get at this company, let's work with that company.
Right, yeah.
Or we want this deal, we want to do ads. I was like, don't go to them. Make the content that would make them come to you. This is where they would appreciate your value more. Because if you go out to them and they've never heard of you, you know, big chances like they're going to turn you down. It's
Correct.
like, we don't
Yeah,
know who you are. We don't know what you're doing. We don't know what content you've been doing. You don't have that type of status on social media yet. So always tell them, always wait for them until they come to you. Then we rush and burn that opportunity with a client that might have worked with us, but now because we're pushing kind of, you know, hard to be
Yeah.
like, oh, come, you know, do this deal with us. And it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And you know, there's a funny anecdote, Lujain, about
Yeah.
the startup of Husain's journey. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Entourage, the TV show.
Yes, yes.
So in that movie, basically it was a struggling actor and
Yeah.
his friend. And then the friend basically said, I'm going to be your manager. Let's do this, which is basically kind of, you know,
It
circles
is
back to
actually.
your story.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities into bringing like a friend or somebody that knows you to kind of manage you, because you would want to be able to trust that person 100%. This what makes sometimes my job a lot easier when I sign someone. Again, there's a colleague that you guys probably familiar with, one of your colleagues, AziadiQ8
Yeah.
I represent him as well. The thing that we have in common is we trust each other 100%, which makes it so easy for us to work together. It makes it really easy for me to kind of present him with ideas, to kind of, especially the field that he's in.
Right.
He's very, again, selective also with his content. It's mostly about gaming.
And eating,
Yeah, yes, and eating
which
too.
I'm hoping one day he would invite me to. So
Yeah,
now you're on the spot, right? You're on the
Yeah,
hot
so but
spot,
I'm managing the
yeah.
gaming side, you know.
Yeah.
So with that, he has been also, like, when I'm talking about honesty, he has been very honest with his audience,
Right.
and he has an audience and not just in Kuwait, like in the GCC and in the Arab region. Whenever he posts a video, I have people contacting me from like all over, asking me about the things that he's talking about and stuff. And it's like, reach out to him, talk to him, not to like I'm just doing his. But because he's so honest, even when I bring him opportunities to promote for something, he'll be like, you know what? I don't think this is something that I normally use. This is not a product that I would use to go and tell people, hey, go and purchase it and go and buy it and do that. So I appreciate that when the talent tells me that, because I know they're being authentic, they're being honest. They're not just looking for a paycheck. They want to actually benefit the followers.
There's a level of integrity in it.
Exactly. And a lot of I've had some falling out with some clients, because when I saw the focus is just money, it's just, oh, get us ads, get us paid, no matter what we talk about. It makes it difficult for me to put my time and effort into that talent when I know they're not being honest with their audience.
Yeah.
Understandable, especially because money is important, but it's not the only thing.
Yes, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, like make money, but don't let it make you.
True.
Exactly.
Very true.
Yeah.
And it also shows, because as an audience, and I want to highlight this point before going on a quick break, as an audience, you can kind of tell, right, when the person talking about a product is not in it, you know, with the passion. They're just trying to sell something. And I think with Age, and I'm not just saying that because we're colleagues,
Yeah.
but his passion for video games and eating, and again, I do hope he invites me sometime.
I feel like I want to join this.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
it just shows up, right? And which is all the hallmarks of a great client who has integrity. And with that point, we are going to take a very quick break and we'll come right back.
Welcome back, dear viewers. We're back from the break, and we're still with the wonderful Husain Jawahri. I'd also like to ask, I've heard that you've also stepped into event and media planning of sorts. Could you tell us more about what you do for that, and if it's difficult to do these kind of events?
So yeah, at some point back in, I believe, 2016, maybe 2017 is when I started with events. and it was mostly pop culture events.
Okay.
And it went on for almost 8 or 9 years. Been involved with so many events. They're very challenging, but thankfully for me, I was only in charge of the celebrity or the talents that came to the convention from outside of Kuwait. This is where I mentioned that I used to do a lot of contract negotiations. But not only that, is when they arrive to Kuwait, I'm the person who manages everything that has to do with them, like where do they go, their timings, their schedules, that make sure that they're comfortable, make sure that they're following what's written in the contracts and all of that. And with that, you get to meet a lot of interesting personalities,
sure.
you know, good and bad, you know, but thankfully more good than bad. But yeah, with that, it's the fun part of it. Yes, it's very hectic. I don't remember that I even had a point to or time to enjoy the convention itself because I was like so busy with the talents. But the time sometimes you spend with the talents, you learn a lot with it. You have these like great memories. You get to sometimes meet people that show you, even though they're really famous, they're very humble. Or vice versa. Sometimes you meet people, you be like, oh, I wish I haven't met them now.
Some divas, maybe.
No, yeah, all my good memories are like gone because I now see that true person sitting in front of me and not being the person that I expected them to be. But overall, it was definitely a learning experience with everything that I did, which led to what I'm doing actually right now.
And you know,
Wonderful.
yeah, it is. And from working with so many international talents, like, what's their first reaction when they come to Kuwait? I'd imagine talking about the heat is the first thing they talk
Yeah.
about.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
then after that, you know,
The heat, and also like they don't do the proper research
okay,
like on our country, Kuwait. It's a beautiful country, but they don't have expectations, so they're always concerned of like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen.
right,
It's the Middle East. I've never been, especially for guests who've never been into any countries in the GCC. Like they've never been outside of their country.
yeah,
So when they travel, going to a new country, they always have concerns of what to expect. And once they get here and of course they see the beauty and the culture of Kuwait, they'd be like so shocked and surprised. It's like,
yeah.
wow, we didn't understand that's going to be like this. They have such a wonderful experience, and of course we're very hospitable. We like make sure that they're, you know, spoiled when they get here, especially with food. You know how we are with food.
We have the
It
best
is.
food.
Yeah, we do.
I tell this to every guest that came to Kuwait. I was like, just expect to gain weight when you're here. It's like, I'm only here
Very
for 3
true.
days.
Yeah.
I was like, you'll be surprised, you know, because we take them on all these experiences, especially with Kuwaiti food. You know, they want to like go, I want to have Italian food. It's like, nope, you're having Kuwaiti food
Yeah.
today.
It's like you're having matbous today, and that's it.
Yes,
No
and they'd
taking
be
down.
like, oh, I've never tried I've never tried like that type of food before. And we even take them deeper into like the street local food in Kuwait, you
Right.
know, like with that. We take them like with some I remember one guest that we took to a park in Mdine, and he was like, I want to go like really street food. I was like, okay, let's do Nakhib Ajilan. I swear he done Hollywood movies with big names
Right.
and like really huge names. I'm talking, he's part of blockbuster movies.
Wow.
He's sitting in a park in Mdine eating nakhi, and like you know, like to see that image,
That's a
you'd be
rite
like,
of passage.
right? And you see, like, I was like, you know, you don't really necessarily just because they're Hollywood stars, they want the 5-star gourmet
They're
food.
probably
You know?
bored of that.
Yeah, exactly. They want to try the actual food, and they've enjoyed it. They've enjoyed the cultural experiences here in Kuwait. When we take them to Souk Barkia and all those places, they've enjoyed it so much. And all of them, I remember all of the guests that came to Kuwait had an amazing experience.
Yeah, especially because I feel like a lot of people don't understand the richness of the culture.
Yes.
I had one friend who visited from Sweden, and she became obsessed with mechbous.
Yeah.
And she just even learned how to make it so she could make it for her family back home. That's how much she loved it.
Yeah.
And it's like, to us, that's like one of the main dishes, but it's also something you kind of take for granted because we all grew up with mechbous and those kind of
Yes.
dishes.
Yeah.
So it's nice that other people can try them and eat them and understand that it's not just, you know, oil money or something like that.
And when they come here, I make sure, especially with Kuwaiti food, they ask for like spoons. I was like, you know, I was like, it was like, how are we gonna eat? I was like, with your hand.
With your
It's
hand.
like, you know, it's like, you know, just have to
OG
do it that way.
experience.
Yes, and
Nature's
they
spoons.
yeah, and
Right.
they enjoy it even more to be part of the same experience of how we Kuwaitis experience our food when we eat the way
Right.
we do, and we include them. They just, you should see their faces. They're like so happy that they experienced that.
And you know, as a foodie, myself included, you know, personal food junkie, I would say.
Yeah.
If any of your talent ever be like, oh, I want to try the food, I can take that responsibility from you, right? Especially if
Oh,
they are A-list Hollywood stars, I can take that
you'll
responsibility
be
off your
helping
hands.
me a lot, man. So just, yeah, because
Right.
at some point you want to focus on so many different things at once. And if you want to take that with the next guest,
Yeah.
I'll be more than
Yeah.
happy.
First thing we go is to Bayan, the city where I grew up. There's a Iranian bread maker, which is
Oh,
the best in Kuwait. That's the first place they're gonna try.
this will definitely be an
Yeah.
experience to remember. Yeah.
And I want to ask you, let's segue into our next point, is that you've also, and I'm gonna say, mashallah, ventured into media production. So
Yes.
how did that process also come along?
This happened, this was also something that I've been thinking about for a while, because throughout all the things that I've done with, whether it's conventions, whether it's events, whether it's just helping people out, I never got credited for the work that I've done. I've always been like, felt that I was ghosted. Like when it came to giving credit where credit is due, I was always left out. And it reached a point where that was okay. But then I thought to myself, I was like, it shouldn't be okay. I should get the credit because I put in the work, I put in the effort. It was my idea to do this. It was my idea to do that. I was the reason that thing or that event reached a certain point. And then when they come out and they talk about it, my name is not mentioned, you know? That's like the least thing you can do to someone who worked with you,
Right.
especially during the day when I was first doing conventions. I was doing it for free. I never got paid for any of the conventions. The first 3 conventions didn't get paid. I loved being part of it, but never got the credit for it. And I was like, I'm not getting paid and I'm not getting credited. So what am I getting out of this?
Yeah.
The experience is great, but I need to think bigger than that. I'm
Experience can't buy food.
yeah, they're like, yeah. And like I felt I was like taken advantage of like throughout these, because I love what I do. So let's just bring him in and let him do the work and stuff. So at some point I was like, you know what? Let me start my own company. So now everybody's gonna know anything that I do related to commercials or events or any of that sort. My company's name is now part of that. So they know that I'm behind that. So it became something that now I don't need to have them credit me. I'm crediting myself for the work that I'm doing.
I think that's amazing. I think a lot of people do take advantage, especially in this industry, of people who actually have the passion for the work and the vision for it. And like you said, it's fine in the beginning. You don't mind just doing something for the love of it.
Yeah.
But eventually you do want to get credit where it's due. You deserve it as well for all the hard work you put in.
Yes, and you know, you get the words, oh, thank you, you know, you've done great and stuff, but then they go and they talk about it publicly. And then you're looking, it's like, no, they're gonna say, no, no,
Yeah.
no, man, you know? And you know, sometimes you would feel like this is not the thing that you want to look for. I don't need to have the credibility of other people to know that I'm doing well. I know that I'm doing well. But it's just when you see that they're taking your credit. You don't have to mention me, but don't take my credit. Don't mention something that I did and you take credit for it. This is where it kind of this like became a problem for me. I was like, I have to separate myself now and start doing my own thing.
Yeah, especially because now name value carries so much. So if your name is out of the credits for the work, you know, it's not gonna long term. It's gonna hurt you tremendously.
Yeah, you know, it's just imagine like exactly like the work that you're doing now. Like at the end of this episode, you'd see like the name of the presenters, like not your names. It's like somebody else. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, that wouldn't be right.
you know, I did the work. You know,
Which is my struggle because I keep telling the editor to put my name on the show. So I'm not gonna credit you at all yet.
but yeah, just you know, getting the credit that you deserve is great. And at some point, if you feel like you're not getting that, it's just time for you to kind of step up and be like, okay, I'll do it my way.
Yeah. And there's a funny little historical thing about Husain,
Yeah.
Jane, for the KTV historic buffs. He was actually in our seats. He was a
Oh, no
presenter on
way.
KTV too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I thanks to everybody who's sitting behind the camera actually right now. I had the amazing opportunity to be a part of a show here on KTV2 for 4 seasons. Yeah, like that.
Wow. That's many seasons.
Yeah,
That's
so when
really-
I came back here, I'm saying like hi's and hellos to a lot of people that I've worked with before. I felt like family from the moment we started shooting. I started even with something called reports on KTV2, where I started doing just like general reports, different types of reports, and then we're gonna give you your own show. And it's like, really, me? I'm gonna have my own show. So they gave me the opportunity to be out there and have my own show and talk about something that I love the most, which is like movies, pop cultures, TV shows, video games. It was truly an unforgettable experience, and it was so much fun. Days that we shot all these episodes, the bloopers, which is my favorite part, I've always looked back at those and be like, I just, being part of KTV2 is definitely one of the highlights of my life, believe it or not, because I felt like I learned a lot, and I felt like I made a lot of friends who I now actually call family, because they've been with me since, you know, I
Aw.
left. So yeah.
That's so sweet. I think that's really inspirational as well, especially for people like us who, like for me, I'm just starting out as a presenter. So it's inspiring to hear these stories and see everything else that you've accomplished. Do you have any tips for people who, you know, maybe are in this industry or want to expand?
Wow, that's a good. I used to be scared of the camera. As soon as I see a camera right there, I
I
used to like the
understand. I get a
nerves.
little nervous sometimes
Yeah,
too.
the nerves is there, but it's once you remember that it's just you and the guest, or you and somebody that's just sitting across from you, just the two of you, and focus on that. It makes things a lot easier, and definitely preparation. Oh, I learned this the hard way. The director back in the day when I was doing Over Under, some episodes I would come unprepared. And it shows. It definitely shows when you're unprepared, because then you start saying things that doesn't make sense about a movie or
Okay.
something like you've seen. Because confession, I did some episodes where they were like, we're talking about a movie, I haven't seen it. Because
Oh
I
no.
didn't have the time to see it. And I was like, okay, I'll wing it. I'll watch the trailer and I'll wing it. Definitely don't wing it. Definitely, like that, the biggest tip that I would give you is definitely be prepared. Definitely know about the topic that you're going to talk about. Even if it's a new topic, do your research and be prepared. That's the best advice I could give you.
I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a very beautiful advice to wrap the conversation segment on. You know, what a lovely thing to hear and listen to. So thank you again, Hussein, for joining us.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you
guys.
so much. It was wonderful.
I appreciate you, and you guys have an amazing show, and I thank you again for having me. Been watching your show for a while, and it's definitely something to look forward to every time.
Thank you. Well, we are honored, you know, for having you here, for the audience who are tuned in. But unfortunately, that was all the time we've had for the conversation segment on The Untold. Until next time.
That's all we have for today. I hope you all enjoyed our amazing conversation with Husain Jawahri.
Yeah, I did have a very lovely conversation with him, you know, and he was very kind enough to accept a lot of my bad jokes. You know, I did a lot of very unfunny remarks about the episode. But honestly, when he said he was hosting and, you know, being a host for international guests and Hollywood stars, my mind immediately, as a movie buff, my mind immediately went like, I got to use this guy for something other than this show. So I do want to thank him for having the patience.
I think it was really interesting to see how he grew from being a KTV2 presenter to being in the field that he is in now. And I think it's great that you made that connection for if you have any future projects.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see where else he's going to go with this.
Yeah, and honestly, Hussein was, you know, his story was very remarkable in that he really took matters into his own hands, right? I believe in the episode he mentioned something about, instead of waiting for something to happen, I decided to make it happen. That was speaking about his managerial, talent managerial kind of position. So that was a very great message of the entire episode, is that, you know, if you're waiting for an opportunity, it may not come, but if you go and pursue it, you know, chances are you are going to make it.
I agree completely. I thought that was so inspiring. And I also love the points that he made about commitment and passion being a really important driving force between accomplishing what you want and pursuing your goals, and how that really opens doors for you.
Right. So again, thank you for Hussein for joining us today, and thank you our audience for tuning in. But unfortunately, that was all the time we've had on The Untold. Until the next episode, see you for now.
See you on the next episode.